really get some insight, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. Students complain about things. There's no question about it. But it's important to get a tone of what the school is about.
So let's actually go into checklist for website research now. So these are things, again, I've collected through the years from, different sort of mentors and sort of gurus in college counseling. And, it's really like, these sort of 7 are, I think, sort of primary. And, whenever I feel like I'm talking to a college counselor like yourself, you're saying like, find like 2 things in each of these different sort of pieces that really resonate with you. And a lot of times it just starts with looking at the features of the academic philosophy. And you find that either in the about or in the academics. Sometimes they'll talk about it kind of in the mission. Also this idea of finding courses and professors who you're excited to be a part of their classes or to learn from. Also student organizations, which you can find under, like, say, student life tabs. Also learning opportunities outside of classes. It's not just the classroom and the social scene. There's research institutes, there's innovation labs, there's also study abroad. There's a whole sort of bevy of different alternatives and opportunities to continue your learning outside the classroom in an applied or practical way. Also aspects of the local environment. Obviously, being in New York City, you have access to the UN and to Wall Street. So what does that do? What does that afford you as far as learning experiences off campus? And then also the alumni networks, as well as the career services office, right? Where are the alumni where are they in the field? Where are they making impact? Where are they gaining real traction? Also, like, the career services office is on campus. How good are they at setting you up with internships or job placement once you graduate from the university? And also, of course, aspects of the social life. I mean, Michael, anything to add to this? Any other insights as far as what
it's a great list, Chris, and it kind of sidesteps the other piece that lots of people. Do you want to be in a city or be out in the country? Do you want to be in a big school? Do you want to be in a small school?
Right, the geography.
Sure. Do you want to be at a school, for example, with big-time football and big-time basketball? I mean, you can get a great combination at Duke, where you get a great education and a great school, and be a Cameron crazy screaming at one of their basketball games. So a lot of these tie into exactly what you're saying. Every student should do kind of a self-evaluation of what's important to them. It falls into these 7 categories. If you don't want Greek life, the aspect of a social life. If you want Greek life, look at the kinds of things that are really important to you and make sure that they're offered. If you have a particular major, make sure the school has it. I mean, that's the bottom line in terms of that piece, So again, like I say, and think about, again, the academic philosophy. We talked many times about schools that have core curriculums and schools that have very open curriculums. These are important things that you think about what works for you and make sure they align when you go through these 7 principles that Chris posted.
Right, got it. Nice. And so, sort of recommended reading. Here's a couple of things, I call it, part 1 here. This is what they want you to know, right? Whoops, sorry. This is what they want you to know. Hello. Sorry. So the official admissions brochure, admissions FAQs on the website, admissions blogs, student life blogs. These are sort of rich sites for information. Particularly the student life blogs, maybe even like the FAQs, where they kind of drill down more specifically into questions that you might be asking yourself that's sort of beyond the marketing on the website. Anything else to add to this, Michael? Any insights on this?
I mean, these are really good, but again, remember what we said. This is what the school is producing for you to read, okay? Right. In other words, it is very, very structured and very, very in the vein of what they want you to see and what they want you to know. And sometimes you need to find a little bit of the dirty laundry about the school to make sure you're okay with that. This is not going to be on this sanitized version that these colleges are posting.
Right. And so to that point, this idea of, part 2, the vetting, right? Mm-hmm. Things that you want to read, the annual development and fundraising reports might be, they may have a few nuggets in there. Capital campaign websites, I find that when you're looking at anything related to development or the capital campaign, they're going to have, they're telling you what they want, what kind of vision they have for their class, their university in the future. Do you align with that, right? And then, one of the things that one of our team members at the company has said, which is read the undergraduate newspaper,
Mhm.
particularly the opinion pages, talk about being unfiltered or dirty laundry, as well as other student publications. I mean, where else can people sort of vet the information that the school's pushing out, Michael?
I want to tell a story about number 3. A couple years ago, there was a school that was having students coming to campus for their kind of revisit days. And all of a sudden, there was a controversial article about some protests going on campus. The admissions director had somebody run around campus and collect all the school newspapers
Serious?
so that the visiting
Oh, that's
students,
amazing.
so the visiting students couldn't read about this. You can rest assured she didn't do well keeping her job. But number 3 to me is by far the most important. And fortunately, most schools have them online now, so no one can steal them and hide them from the students. So the value of that is you really get some insight, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. Students complain about things. There's no question about it. But it's important to get a tone of what the school is about, and many times how the school reacts, which is also going to be in the school papers. So, I think these 4 are important, but I love the concept of making sure you take a look at the student newspaper.
Right. And of course, I mean, while it's not reading, it's also, there's another option out there, which is, talk to people who have gone to the school
Absolutely.
where they are now or have graduated recently, of course, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think every high school will have a list of where their kids from previous classes have gone to and who have gone to those schools. Reach out to your guidance counselor and say, by the way, who else went to Colgate? I'd like to reach out and find out what their experience has been there.